Good day everyone. My name is Lady Lynn Mercado from 2F3 and I am here to present or to discuss our system about um, post-inventory monitoring system or point of sale. So, point of sales monitoring system is hardware and software created to enable to every business to transact easily with the sales. Then, a POS system allows your business to accept payments from customers and keep track of sales. This system works in different ways in every store or sell online. As of today, the POS are digitalized and modernized. It can easily check out customers whether you are through using internet and other devices. Then from the problem statement, before the database was built, the manager of the store was able to use manual sales inventory. They used such as papers for the recipient of the payments and other sales transactions for inventory. As people's perception of computer technology improves, their living standards increases. And the business need a dependable and accurate computerized point of sale system to assure revenue while also delivering accurate and full sales data. It is critical to correctly manage your inventory in any business, particularly markets. And for the objectives, the general objectives is to design, develop, implement a post-inventory management system for Greenball's sari-sari store that will improve the current sales and inventory transaction and maximize the company's performance in terms of sales, process, and inventory transaction by creating a program using PHP and MySQL specific for the use case diagram, and we can see the sales and sales details, and the under of sales is like in and inventory. Then for and so, under of sales details is supplier and product. Then for the product is the cart and category. And next is for the ER diagram and relationship model. For inventory, under siya ng inventory date and inventory ID, user ID, action, product, and quantity. But the user have a password, access, user ID, and username. Then, has customer have a user ID, customer name, address, and contact. Then, the next is for the category, have a category ID, category name, and then the cart have a cart ID, user ID, product ID, and quantity. And for the sales date, sales detail ID, sales ID, product ID, and sales quantity. Then for the product is product ID, supplier ID, the photo and product quantity, category ID, and product price, product and product name. Next is for the supplier, have a company name, user ID, contact, and company address. Then next is for the data dictionary. There's the category, card ID. For the card ID, this contains card ID with the data type numeric with auto increment. Then for the user ID, this contains the user ID for every different card having the data type numeric with auto increment. For the product ID, file contains the product ID for every different product having the data type numeric with auto increment. Then for the quantity, this field contains the quantity of each card has inputted with the data type double. Then for the table of user ID, this contains user ID with the data type numeric with auto increment. Username is this contains the username of each user with the data type varchar 30. Then for the password is this field consists of password is user as inputted with the data type varchar. And access, this contains access with the data type numeric with auto increment. And Then for the customer table is user ID. This contains user ID with a data type numeric with auto increment. The customer name is this contains the customer's name of each customer with the data type varchar. Then for the address is this contains the address for every different customer having the data type varchar. Contact. This field contains the contact of each customer has inputted with the data type varchar. Then from the product table is product ID. This contains product ID with the data type numeric with auto increment. Then category ID. This contains category ID with the data type numeric with auto increment. Product name. This field consists of product name. Each product has inputted with the data types varchar. Then for the product price, this field contains the product price of each product has inputted with the data type double. Then for the product quantity, this field contains the product quantity of each product has inputted with the data types double. From the photo, this stores the photo of the product in it with the data type varchar. Then for the supplier ID, this contains the supplier ID for each product with auto increment. And next is for the sales detail table. Sales detail ID. This contains sales detail ID with the data type numeric with auto increment. And sales ID, contains sales ID with the data type numeric with auto increment also. And product ID, contains the product ID for every different sales details having the data type numeric with auto increment. Then next is for the sales quantity. This field contains the sales quantity, each sales details that has inputted with the data type double. And this is the reporting queries. Selecting product category. First is the selecting product categories. This is the example. This is the table of category. There's have a drinks, foods, and personal use. And next is the inserting customer information. So we have customer name, username, password, address, and contact information. Then the next table is inventory report or products. So there's have a date, user, action, product name, and quantity. Then the next is product description. There's have a product name, supplier, price, quantity, and the photo. Then next is the product quantity. There's have a price, quantity, photo, and action. Under action is the edit and delete. Then next is the card. And then user or admin account. There's have a username and password. The last is this point of sales will serve as a convenient method for the organization to easily monitoring the inventory of the products, customers, and the product description that will come to their store. In addition, this product will save a lot of time and effort of the concerned employee and the management of the store. And that's all. Thank you.